Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Moonshiners Racing presented by Depot Street Sports. I'm your host, Michael Rizzo, joined with Aiden Forney and Zachary Kendall. Yeah, we're starting at a later time than normal. Had a little bit of a technical difficulty last week. It was the off week, and we're back. We're back. We're doing two shows at once here on Depot Street Sports. Sounds like six. The college football show is currently going on as well, and now our show as well, the NASCAR Moonshiners Racing podcast, hosted every Wednesday. Well, we're back. Glad to talk to you guys. Glad to see you guys again. How we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. John Hunter Nemechek's a bitch. We're just gonna get that out of the way right now. But yeah, we're doing great right now. I'm in Tennessee, bit of a last second vacation trip, and we're here. We're just vibing, and can't wait to have racing back this weekend.
Yeah, my life is kind of pretty boring without racing on the weekends. At least at this point until the NFL season arrives. So I'm doing the best I can, obviously, and yeah, I'm ready to discuss NASCAR once again because after that short little break, gotta get the itch back, gotta get back in a rhythm.
Exactly, Zachary. Exactly. Yeah, get that itch back on the racetrack this week. We're going to Iowa for the NASCAR series. Going to Iowa back on NBC. We get to hear Lee Diffie and the guys call race again. But yeah, sounds like we needed this. I'm in agreement with you guys there. But first, before we get into Iowa, let's talk all things Indy. Guys, what was your thoughts on the race weekend from Cup, Xfinity, O'Reilly? There's so much to talk about. Aiden, I know you're itching to talk about John Hunter Nemechek and him wrecking your guy Ryan Blaney getting what, like a 26th place finish, and $1 million less than what he could have had at the end of this event. And then you had Corey Heim winning it all, obviously, and then him and his scuffle there with Carson Hocevar, of course. But guys, thoughts on the race weekend in a whole?
Yeah, he's just trying to stir the pot at this point. Uh, I'm gonna get to the racing part first. It was pretty bad. It was terrible. I'm gonna be honest. I said it in the group chat even before the whole Ryan Blaney thing happened that this was probably the worst race of the year, in my opinion, or at least one of the worst races of the season. There was just absolutely no passing whatsoever. Uh, we're going to get into other things like our picks and predictions. And really, I kind of had a feeling this was going to go this way because I picked Bubba Wallace in the second. The second I saw him qualify 27th, I knew it was over. I almost texted the chat and was like, "Hey, can I just pick a driver that y'all didn't pick?" And like, but I didn't. Because I thought that was cheap. I thought that was a lame thing to do. But yeah, I literally saw that he qualified 27th. And I was like, he's going to finish last out of the four now because you couldn't pass, you couldn't really do anything, and I blame the cars. I do not blame Indianapolis. I blame the cars. I refuse to blame Indy for this one. Yeah, great for Corey Heim, even though I the racing was just so annoying. It didn't really feel great seeing Heim win, unlike San Diego. Actually pointed it out too. Corey Heim might have probably just won like the best race of the season and won the worst race of the season as well. So very two different races for sure. Yeah, it was just really annoying, especially with the fact that later in the stages and in the final lap, Corey Heim did not have the best race car. He kind of just error blocked and it worked. So that was definitely annoying. Christopher Bell was way better. Ty Gibbs was better. Danny Hamlin was better. But Corey Heim had the uh, track position and just ran away with it. And lastly, that little fucking bitch. Oh my God, there's so many words I can say about this dude. First of all, he looks like a Walmart Christopher Bell. I don't know if anyone ever heard this. Like, you know how your mom's like, hey, we got this at home. Mom said we got Christopher Bell at home, and it's fucking John Hunter Nemechek. All right. Now this dude, like, why isn't anyone else complaining about this? I know you're going to say this. Oh, he wrecked your guy, so you're going to say he sucks. No, no, you can go back on this podcast. I have said like all year round, like, why isn't no one talking about how terrible John Hunter Nemechek is? He is awful. He is awful. Blaney said it's every week with this guy. It really is. You look back on the entire season, it really is every week with this guy. Every single week. Like, anyone remember the Kyle Busch incident? Anyone remember the whole Cody Ware incident? Does anyone remember he just flat out wrecked Chase Elliott while Chase was in the chase last season? Like, just dumped him at Richmond or Bristol, one of the two. Like, he just completely flat out took out a chase driver fighting for a championship last season, and no one cares. Like, oh yeah, we give crap to Joey Logano, crap to Austin Dillon, crap to Carson Hocevar. No one cares that John Hunter Nemechek is just an absolute bum out there on the track that is supporting no value to racing at all. Actually, if he didn't exist, it'd actually be an improvement to NASCAR in the racing world altogether. Like, if he was just Thanos snapped away, I would think, you know what, if he is John Hunter Nemechek was Thanos snapped away, NASCAR would be back to its popularity in the mid 2000s. The car would be perfect. All right, we wouldn't have the stupid numbers in front of the cars. They'd still be in the middle. Dale Earnhardt would be alive if John Hunter Nemechek didn't exist. All right, like, I can't express how horrible this this driver is. Does anyone else remember, like, this guy was really hyped up to be one of the future superstars of the race? What happened to that? Everyone just figured out that he is terrible at his job, and yeah, for some reason he gets a pass. Why? Because he's likable? Why? Because, like, he had a few wins in the truck series? Like, who cares? I'm being really tamed about this because I'm currently in my grandparents' house and they have thin walls, so I'm trying not to lose it right now. So, like, I should have done this at home. I should have actually. You know what I'm going to do next week? I'm going to get back on this topic next week when I'm at my house and I can yell. So yeah, this is part one. This is part one. Actually, we're going to get to part two later, and that's my take on the entire weekend.
Well, that was a lot. You know, I mean, he's always like Nemechek. First off, is obviously at this point has proven that he's just an O'Reilly Series, Truck Series lifer. Honestly, because I just don't see him being able to obviously do anything in Cup. And the reason why he probably gets away with it is because Legacy Motor Club just makes news outside of the racetrack. Um, because their owners Jimmy John, one of their co-owners is Jimmy Johnson, obviously, and then he brings in a bunch of these like celebrity all-star investors for the team. That's kind of like where they make the most news out of it. And then Eric Jones could go and dominate at Darlington, and that's obviously their one shining moment as a company in terms of racing. Anyways, that's besides the point. Yeah, I did not enjoy Indy. I figured I probably wouldn't. I never really have, honestly. It's never really hit me. Unfortunately, because I was not coherent enough at the time to watch the middle 2000s Indy races, and that's where you saw, I feel like, some of the best racing that NASCAR could provide for it on this track. Um, like I remember very well, obviously going back and watching Tony Stewart versus Kevin Harvick, and what do you know? There was two cars battling for the lead. Stewart actually stood a chance for being in second place, and he ended up passing him. And similar to Harvick, he had a chance to pass him back. But in this car, the next gen car, obviously, you can't do that because the dirty air is just so big and such a problem. That yeah, I mean, sure, I'm not saying that Heim that wasn't trying to wheel that car around. Obviously, he definitely was. His car wasn't stuck to the ground, stuck to the racetrack all the way through. So he was doing a heck of a job of keeping in line as best he could. But Bell could only get to like probably like at most 3/10, and then he'd hit that air, and then he'd have to back up because otherwise you'd be wearing your tires out even more. Just driving behind the guy, and yeah, the Nemechek crash was probably the most exciting thing, unfortunately. So for Aiden, his driver got wrecked, being one of the most entertaining parts of the race, along with obviously Hocevar flipping off Corey Heim going down. pit road, foreshadowing, of course, for where Heim was going to finish later in the race. And for Heim, obviously, it's a good win, a monumental win. Honestly, obviously, second win in like 15 starts is just truly incredible, and just shows the type of racecraft that he has at only 24 years old, and he's only a part timer. So he's going to be full time next year, and I don't see him not being a threat because obviously he's doing this right now. He's showing that he's going to be a threat for years to come.
Yeah, Corey Heim. I'll start there. Fantastic drive from him. Started seventh, worked his way up to the front, and it was hard to do that. I mean, we all saw it. It was extremely hard to pass. If you didn't, what was the stat that there was 8 passes during the green flag during like on track, like green flag passes that were not strategy on
I
pit
know it
road.
wasn't. I know it wasn't for the lead. I know that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Not for the lead, but I think in the entire race there was only 8 passes that actually happened during green flag on the track, which is terrible, terrible to say. But yeah, Corey Heim getting the win, awesome. I mean, you guys all know, everyone who watches this knows, I'm a 2311 fan. I loved it. It was fantastic. Seeing him win, and then my brother, he has become a you know Carson Hocevar fan. So it's been a fun 2 weeks rubbing that one into him, showing off all the Corey Heim edits people are putting together. It's pretty funny, especially that post race interview he had, and where Corey was just like, "Man, where did he finish?" And then someone was like, "Oh, he finished ninth." You guys really like talking about a guy who finished ninth? Like, that's cold. That's cold. Uh, but he's doing good, man. 15 races, 2 wins, and he's part time. He's not even full time for Mr. Heim time. So cannot wait to see what happens next year and his career. He's already extremely good and not even full time yet. As for the rest of the weekend, Carson Quapple gets the win in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. You get another Front Row Motorsports win at IRP with Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs dominated that race, got the lead, and never looked back. Utter domination. Carson Quapple finally gets that first win that's been eluding him for the last year and a half. Finally gets it. Breaks a rule that Indy has, an unwritten rule of doing a burnout on the bricks. People were up in arms about that, but I mean, what do you want him to do? It's his first career win. Um, but but yeah, just a great. I would say for the winners wise, good winnerized, but like race weekend wise like that. But yeah, the product on track at IMS, it makes all the bad stuff get like way worse. Like if you have a bad product, it gets emphasized when you go to a track like Indianapolis. Masters got to do something to his car. I mean, I said it 2 weeks ago. Cole Pern, he had a lot to say about this car. If you really want to see what he said, go look on Twitter. I'm not able to say it on this show, uh, though Aiden would like to try to say it. I'm sure he would. But please do not say it. Do not look it up and try to say it on the chat. I totally given you some ammo here, but please do not use it. Um, yeah, he's definitely contemplating that one. Man, I had a lot more to say. Oh, yeah, a lot of people were arguing how this track at IMS, it looked like barely anyone was there. Guys, there was over 70,000 fans at IMS for the Cup race. Any other track you go to that's not Daytona, Bristol, 70,000 fans is fantastic. That
Yeah,
is a
that
sellout.
people don't realize that Indianapolis is the biggest venue that NASCAR goes to. Like you could
Exactly.
that place was hard to sell out like in its prime. Like there are still like empty spots when like I obviously I'm a Tony Stewart fan. I've seen Tony Stewart win at Indy. He says his best two moments was probably winning at Indy twice. You can even look in the crowds in those races, like in NASCAR's prime. There was some spots there, like the track's insanely hard to sell out. It is massive. I don't think people realize that how big it is.
Yeah, it fits
Yeah.
250,000 people or over 250,000. And the first couple in the last 4 years, the 500, the Indy 500 has sold out. Before that, it hasn't sold out and there's a blackout in Indiana. You don't get to watch the race, which is pretty dumb. But I mean, it's taken the last 5 years for IndyCar to sell out the place. You want NASCAR to sell out the place? It's just never going to happen. Even NASCAR in its prime couldn't do it, like Aiden said. It's just for the people arguing that, oh, we shouldn't go here. It wasn't a sellout. Look how, you know, bare it is out there. There's barely anyone there. 70,000 fans at a NASCAR race is a win. We're going to go to Iowa. There's going to be 40,000 people there. They're probably going to talk about, oh, look at this sellout crowd. Half, like, oh, a little over half the amount of people at Indy are going to be at this race. Not even 70,000, 40,000 fans fit in at Iowa. And that's all we're going to end up getting there. And I'm sure we're going to see people, like I said, talk about how sold out the crowd is. And look at this short track racing. We should go to these more tracks more often when only 40,000 people went there.
Well, I was gonna say that yeah, that's another reason, like with the attendance argument that people make about why does NASCAR continue to go here when it like doesn't look like it's merely making a dent in terms of attendance. Um yeah, like when IMS was obviously built, it wasn't built for like NASCAR. It was built for IndyCar racing. That's why they've ran it over 100 times, like 100 and like around like 113, 115, something like that. IndyCar races there, and NASCAR's only been going there since '94. So that's part of it. The reason why like it's so big is because it wasn't built for NASCAR. It was built for a different series. And on top of that, IndyCar just has a package and a car that can like be able to draft behind each other and get these big massive runs and make passes. Stock cars ain't going to be able to do that. They can't make the draft effects like that. So unfortunately, that part is also hurt a little bit by it. But I don't think NASCAR needs to have like big draft effects to make Indy work. The problem with it though is that I don't think anybody, at least I don't, really look forward to Indianapolis any single year on the schedule, just because I feel like it's going to be a boring race, unfortunately. And I'm from Indiana. I've been in Indiana my entire life, and this is technically my home track, and it is the most famous racetrack in the world. And I like NASCAR. I think NASCAR obviously is my favorite motorsport, so I'd like to see it thrive at this track. But it just the combination of everything involved, man, like it's just a bunch of arguments, and that's the reason why part of the reason why I don't like look forward to it because everyone's just going to be arguing about whether we should be there or whether we shouldn't be there. On top of the fact that you got some silly stuff like with Carson Qualfel, for instance, doing a burnout over the bricks. I mean, I don't care. It's his first career win. I mean, let the man celebrate how he wants to celebrate. I mean, if he wants to burn all the rubber around the track, you can't really do that. But if you wanted to do that, like do a burnout around the entire track, then let him do it. He deserves it. Yeah, and I'm not shocked that Lane Riggs also won. Front row was just killer on those short tracks. But I was pulling for Carson Qualfel. I can't lie. In those final laps, I was watching it. I was hoping. I mean, Allgaier has won plenty. Carson Qualfel needed that one. I was happy to see him get it done because his future is a little bit unknown because he doesn't bring enough sponsorship, unfortunately, to the table. So what he does need to bring is winning experience and to win races. So he finally got it done, and I'm big congrats to him. It was a big day for the entire Quaffle family because his brother ended up winning a late model race later on too. So that's an entire big winning day for the family, and yeah, that was good to see. But yeah, unfortunately, most of the time I don't look forward to Indianapolis and NASCAR. It doesn't click right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the only thing I have to put for the Truck Series in the O'Reilly Series was the meme I sent about Carson Quaffle W. We cooking dinner in the Travis Quaffle crock pot tonight.
That was a good one. That was a good one. After the race, I immediately saw it, and then within 30 seconds, you had sent it to the chat. Moving on, guys. Let's get to news around the garage. We always start with points, and of course, I wasn't prepared, and I do not have the points pulled up. So instead, we're going to start with Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson announced that with Rick Hendrick on the pre-race for the Brickyard 400, announced that he will be driving the 48 car in his last race in next year's Daytona 500. Allies giving him the sponsorship has given him approval. NASCAR's given approval. Obviously Hendrick, so he'll be driving the 48 car. Meanwhile, we have no idea. I mean, all three news items here I have are all kind of together. So I'm just going to mention them all at the same time, and you guys do what you got to do. That means Alex Bowman, who announced that next year will be his last full time season. In his last full time season, in his last Daytona 500, he'll be driving a different number. It's rumored that he gets to pick his number. So his number when he drives dirt cars and all that kind of stuff has been 55. So most likely we'll see the number 55 Hendrick car. So there is a trivia answer there for you for someday in the future. Um, and then here's another one for you. Connor Zilich is the leading candidate to take over that 48 Hendrick car in 2028. So guys, with all three of those topics there for you, go on. What do you think of all this?
Okay, so quick timeout on the play. You mentioned Connor Zillage uh to the 48. I didn't you say it was confirmed that it was Corey Day in the chat?
No, not Corey Day. It was highly rumored that it was going to be him, but now it's like all but confirmed that it's going to be Connor Zilich. Like they even have a sit down meeting. Pretty much, I guess I'll say my insider information here. Pretty much, um, they couldn't work out a deal to get Zilich to the 48 for 2027. They could not buy him out of his Trackhouse contract. So instead of putting Corey Day in that 48 next year, they went back to Alex Bowman, who Alex Bowman has told people, personal people that I may also know, that he wanted to retire this year. As soon as he had the injury, he didn't want to come back in the car. But then people tried talking him into it. He got back into it. He still kind of wanted to retire, but he doesn't want to retire on such a bad note. So thought might as well give it one more shot, one more go at it. So pretty much he's back in the ride because Hendrick kind of really needed him to get in the ride because they could not buy out Connor Zilich in his ride, which is kind of crazy to say that Mr. Hendrick, Mr. H, cannot buy out a driver and out of their car, which is kind of just crazy to say because that's Hendrick. I mean, if Hendrick's calling, you're going to take that phone call, but he couldn't do it. So it is like 99.9% certain that Zilich will be in that 48 and 28, but we wait. So, guys, thoughts?
Got it. That is interesting. Now, first of all, I'm going to mention the Bowman retiring. Bowman retiring is something we've hinted at a while. It's definitely been a minute since we saw a driver at his age retire, but it still makes sense. Like, I know there are drivers that are considered to retire at a young age, such as Carl Edwards, but I mean, Bowman's younger than Carl. And I mean, like, retire, like, go out on their own. We're not talking about some broke ass bum just, sucked and, like, couldn't find a ride and, couldn't drive anymore. Like, we're talking about a guy that really did get to go out on their own terms. With all the injuries, that does make sense that the injuries took a toll on him and he's just wanting to be done with it. Glad he is coming back, though. Glad we do get a proper send-off to him, I'd say. Kind of sucks he doesn't get to drive his own number in the Daytona 500, but he doesn't really seem to mind. I mean, he started out his career driving odd random teams and cars, just a hodgepodge start and park teams that he was just trying to pay the bills with. Until he eventually got a chance in the 88, and then the 88 turned into the 48. It's been a heck of a career. It's really weird for me to talk about Alex Bowman because Alex Bowman's just one of those drivers that I really don't have an opinion on. Like, me personally, I'm not an Alex Bowman fan. I'm not an Alex Bowman hater either. Actually, on the ironic part, I thought Alex Bowman got too much hate. I'm actually so in that department, I was actually more of a Bowman supporter, but I really was just like, Bowman's there kind of guy. So Zachary and Rizzo might have more to say on Bowman than I do. For Jimmy, I think it's really cool that, in his final Daytona 500 run and his final send off, he is going to get to drive the 48 car. with a new package too. Might I add, new racing package as well. And the possibility of Lowe's possibly coming back for one race, which they don't really seem to shoot down. Like it's not confirmed, nothing's confirmed nor denied, but everyone seems interested in the deal, and I would like to see that. I mean, that diecast is gonna sell like hotcakes, and front and center that I'm buying that car. Yeah, I buy way too many race cars. I literally bought like 15 diecasts today. Like yeah, I'm gonna definitely get my hands on that one. And there was a third news. There was a third thing in news that I don't. Connor Zillage. Yeah, it could be just Zillage is just wanting to wait out his contract. Not to mention like him just leaving, even though he's under contract, can lead to like lawsuits and stuff like that. So I kind of understand why he has to wait him out, but we'll see. My first concern though isn't this is a good move for Zillage. It's more, is this a good move for Hendrick? Because yes, Trackhouse is terrible, but like he's had a awful rookie season. Definitely one of the worst for like I would say a premium driver and decent team, kind of in a way. Uh, he's just had a awful season. Yes, he was great in the O'Reilly series. He should have won the championship. He is talented on road courses. He has flashed that, but on the ovals and really everywhere else, he's just been flat out terrible. But he got 2 more years, and I'm interested to see how he is going to run next year with Trackhouse. We'll have to see there. I'm just a little bit concerned that he might not be a good fit for Hendrick Motorsports right now.
Yeah, so for the Bowman retirement, obviously I'm not shocked by it. I went on Twitter after the announcement was made, and I was kind of surprised to see many people were kind of surprised that he was stepping away. I mean, the writing's been on the wall for some time now. I hate to say it. Like, he made it known that I want to make it clear though. He made it known that he had this time frame like 10 years ago. So he said that he wanted to retire before he was 35 years old, and he's 33 now. So he was going to retire even around this time, 2026, 2027, 2028 potentially even. Um it's just that the injuries make it obviously easier for him to do it. I feel like because it has hindered his racing performance. I mean, look at his racing performance before the back injury. Look at his performance after it, and he's got a lot of haters. His fans will obviously support him a ton. Um, he has never been an elite driver, and that's fine. He's been a very serviceable driver, and that you can work with that, especially being the fourth driver there at Hendrick Motorsports. You don't really have to pop off because you still have Kyle Larson, you still have Chase Elliott, and you still got William Byron. So Bowman gets solid results. He's a good partnership, good partner with a sponsor and ally. Ally likes him a ton. That's why he's probably been in the car a little bit longer than some would like, and why he's still staying in the car, honestly, is because Ally is wanting him back 100% for next year. And he has a great story. Okay, he came from Tommy Baldwin and BK Racing, and those teams were good. Obviously, they were starting park teams, and he got a shot with Dale Jr. when he got his concussion in 2016, and he did prove something, obviously, because Dale Jr. supported him to take over the '88. Hendrick signed on with that. He got there in 2018, and obviously he's been there full time ever since. And sure, 8 career wins is not the most, obviously, but it's better than having no career wins. So he can always say he was a Cup Series driver, and who knows, maybe he can get another win before his career closes out next year. So I wish him all the best for this next year and a half, and I wish him a happy retirement. As for Jimmy Johnson and the Lowe's potential partnership, I love it. Obviously, like when I saw that tweet come out by the Lowe's official Twitter, and they like had Jimmy and Ally and Carvana. Um, in the comment section of it, and he's like, "I'll put you all in a group chat." And then I responded myself and I said, "The world is healing." Jimmy Johnson actually liked that response. Um, yeah, I mean, it'd be great to see. I mean, Lowe's has been out of the sport for a good while now, but everyone knows that Jimmy Johnson and Lowe's, those Lowe's paint schemes were some of the most peak paint schemes you could have. One of the best partnerships you could ever have. He won obviously all his championships in the Lowe's cars. So I feel like it feels right if they can potentially get this done to have him re up with Lowe's on a car and get the 48. Obviously, it's great that everyone involved also signed off on him getting the 48 car back for that final time because he definitely deserves it. And yeah, I mean, I hope he has a good run in the Daytona 500. I hate to see that car ever get torn up. So hopefully he doesn't get torn up, and hopefully he gets a good finish and can close out a career that obviously has been, obviously had very great highs and some lows later on in his career, but he's been obviously a tremendous ambassador for NASCAR and a tremendous driver. And the history of Jimmy Johnson cannot be written without lows. So hopefully it gets it done. And then finally with Zilich, I mean, I think the reason why Hendrick is able to be fine with him not signing on for next year is really for him to be second year in the next gen car, and hopefully he can show improvement. Because like Aiden myself, I am kind of skeptical looking at it about how terrible his rookie year has been up to this point. They are getting more practice, obviously, for the drivers. We'll see if that helps him out some. And I'm not going to fault him for Trackhouse being slow, but what I am going to fault him for is wrecking himself on lap one multiple times. He needs laps. He needs laps and he needs better finishes before he ever steps in that Hendrick ride. And that, he definitely has another year to, get himself right, to learn. And then you can obviously, he'll be in his third year in the Cup Series, but he'll be on, not Trackhouse equipment. He'd be in Hendrick Motorsports equipment at that point. And I think part of this too is the reason why Hendrick is so enormed with him is because he obviously was in a JRM pipeline. And usually when you are in the JRM pipeline, they want you to get up to Hendrick. It's just that he was so good and he had already signed a Trackhouse development deal before that Hendrick couldn't really do anything about it. He had just a tremendous year, and he went up to Cup obviously this year with Trackhouse, and he's going to be there for next year as well. But I think they've always had a key eye on him, and they're kind of fine with Corey Day just trying to learn more in the O'Reilly series because you got to think about it. That I mean, sure, Larson has kind of gone back and forth about whether he's going to retire before 40. But if he does retire before 40, you know how old Corey Day is going to be? 25, 24. That's how young he is at this point. And you have some time with him. Okay, you do. And with Zilich, you also have time with him because he's only 20 years old, about 21 next year. And he obviously brings a sponsorship in Red Bull that I feel like Hendrick really desires and wants as well because he can get exposure and just he can take him other places and he can definitely become a mainstream figure for NASCAR, assuming that his results obviously on the track back it up. So we'll see what it goes with that 48 car um, during the silly season next year. And if it is Zilich, obviously he obviously has improved, hopefully, and then Hendrick can get rocking and rolling from there forward with their driver lineup.
Yeah, I mean, I already told you guys what I thought about this whole situation. I think I know you guys are kind of on the fence about Zilich being in that ride, but I think it's the right move for Connor, obviously. And then as for Hendrick, I think it's also probably the best move. I'm sure Corey Day can put on a similar season next year in that 17 car that Connor Zilich had, but then he's going to have to start that learning curve completely back over in a cup car that he's never going to run it in 28. And you're just going to throw him in there and just throw him to the wolves and just see if he actually works. And I think that's what Connor Zilich is doing. He's in a not so good situation with that 88 Trackhouse car. Trackhouse has taken multiple steps back while everyone has taken multiple steps forward. And it doesn't help that he starts so far in the back every single weekend, gets caught in the hornet's nest, and then barely, if ever, finishes a race. So it just sucks for him that he's not really getting that development that he needs. in the Cup Series, but you got to remember his first time racing on an oval was 2022, and that's 2026. In 4 years, he's made it to the Cup Series after racing on an oval first time in 2022. So he's still got a lot to learn. He's a very raw prospect. He was in the best situation possible last year in O'Reilly, and maybe we put too much pressure on him. Maybe we put too much hype around him just because of how good he was and how good of a situation he was. We thought there's no way he doesn't work out anywhere else. Well, it's just it hasn't. It really hasn't. And I'm not trying to say Corey Heim is in the perfect situation because I'm sure he would be a whole lot better if he was in a JGR Toyota rather than a 2311 Toyota, but he's not there and he's still performing. But I just think you look at Connor Zilich's career, this is the first time he's really struggled is right now. And he's talked about this week on the Detrimental podcast. He was on it with Todd Gilliland and Jared Allen, who hosts it with Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin was not on it, but those two guys were, and they were talking about how difficult it is. Like he goes, "Yeah, I was in the best situation possible, and now I'm not." Like he said, no need to sugarcoat it, but he's not, and he knows it. The team knows it. Everyone knows it. So he's just got to learn. He's just got to stop getting caught in other people's messes, his own mess. Just try to complete laps at this point. And I think if he does that, he's probably going to take another step in the right direction next year. You'd hope, and most likely he will. And then maybe at that point, then he finally is ready to take that ride. But we'll see. Now we'll do the point standings as usual. The first four guys I mentioned are locked into the chase. That being first place Denny Hamlin, second Tyler Reddick, third Ryan Blaney, and fourth Ty Gibbs. Everyone else is still not locked in. Fifth Carson Hocevar, sixth Chase Elliott, seventh Chase Briscoe, eighth Kyle Larson, ninth Chris Buescher, 10th Christopher Bell, 11th Daniel Suarez, 12th William Byron, 13th Joey Logano, 14th Bubba Wallace, 15th SVG. The last car in and 16th is Austin Cindric. First car out and 17th is Ryan Preece. And 18th is Eric Jones. 19th Brad Keselowski. And in 20th, Michael McDowell. Guys, looking at these, the top 20 in points here, anyone really, please give me three drivers you would like to talk about.
Yeah, the first one for me is going to be Kyle Larson. Now, we kind of skimmed over it during the month of June. Kyle Larson had an incredible month of June. He was just killing it. This past in June, fourth place at Sonoma, third at San Diego, fifth at Pocono, even go in fourth at Michigan. But then we hit July, 34th at Chicagoland, spins himself out. 34th at Atlanta after having a great run, gets caught up in a wreck late. Finished 15th at North Wilkesboro. I know that sounds better than 34th, but it really just wasn't a factor the entire race. Kind of just slipped his way into 15th, and then 39th at Indy, leading, blowing a tire, and wrecking into the wall. He's just been overall terrible in this month of July. Another guy that is slowly slipping down the standings, and I didn't even realize it, is Chris Buescher. Buescher was 19th at Sonoma, 19th at Chicagoland. He finished 10th at Atlanta, 20th at North Wilkesboro, and 11th at Indy, and he was pretty much a non-factor in all those races. Now, that's not as bad as Kyle Larson, but he's currently ninth in points. And you got to think, at one point during the season, he was like fifth in points, trying to get his way into the top four, into the top three. The next guy, the final guy I am going to ramble on about is it's going to be AJ Allmendinger all the way in 22nd. The glass slipper, I think, has officially broken for the Dinger because he's not that good now. remember back when he was top 16th in points. He was running in the chase. He was doing great, especially for a color card that didn't have any Chevy backing. Well, now he has fallen back down to earth. 25th at Indy, 37th North Wilkesboro, 37th at Atlanta, 17th at Chicagoland, 16th at Sonoma, road course that he's supposed to be good at. Finished 5th at San Diego, but 22nd at Pocono, 17th at Michigan, 35th at Nashville. It has just been a terrible past 2 months for AJ Allmendinger. A Chase hopeful has completely fallen apart.
All right, so first guy up on my list I'm gonna look at, he's probably the guy that I'm gonna talk about that has the most momentum behind him right now, and that's Joey Logano. Up at 13th in points, and we talked about it before North Wilkesboro about how yes, there is no more winning in, but wins pay a lot of points. And since he won and just completely dominated that North Wilkesboro race, he's definitely turned it around. And that 22 car has found something, and what they have found is part of the schedule that just like makes them just faster because they're going to flat tracks. Iowa, obviously North Wilkesboro, he won there. New Hampshire and Richmond, and you got these tracks coming up and just three in a row. And that's the ability to make a lot of points, gain a lot of points on the cut line, to make sure you're not in a position at Daytona to where you're like a Austin Cindric here that could lose a lot of points just by wrecking. Um, and you could have a random winner still win that race, obviously. And so I think Joe Logano and Paul Wolf and that 22 team has done a heck of a job, obviously trying to maintain through the rough times, because there was plenty of rough times earlier in the year, um, to where they were like really off the pace and just not really fast at all. They were kind of mid pack, but they were always around the cutoff line. He is a champion, no matter what you think about him in the formats he's won and under. He is a champion. Paul Wolf's a champion, and Paul Wolf was a champion with Brad Keselowski in this same format. I'm just saying. Uh, so him being here in 13th, I think is great, as opposed to 3 weeks ago where he was back here in like around 16th spot. Obviously, you'll take that, and you can potentially gain on more people up above him as well, considering how good he's been running. Next guy up on my list is going to be Ryan Preece here in 17th. He's the first guy out. He is 38 points behind um, Cendric, and the reason why I'm pointing him out is because he had such an opportunity at Indianapolis to get a top five, because they are able to catch a caution in the right time when Daniel Dye, of all people, crashed at the end of stage two. Before the end of stage two, they didn't run another lap, and then they ended it like under caution or something like that. Priest was able to leapfrog a lot of guys that had to pit after that stage ended, and he was in the top 10. He was basically back there in like 25th place, I think, all race long before that. And then he had an opportunity to finish in the top five. So it was like one good catching a break strategy call by his crew chief. And then there was one very boneheaded move to where, he kind of cost himself some track position off the restart because he pit for four tires. Other guys took two, and that just kind of leapfrogged them ahead. And, we all saw it. Track position meant everything. And, with Priest, sure, top 10 is nice, but top five is much better. And you need points. Any points you can get, you need them. And the fact that he couldn't finish in the top 10 because his crew made a bad call just hurts even more, obviously. And they need all the good finishes, especially top fives that you need, because I don't think, unfortunately, Ryan Priest is in any position to win a race at this point currently. So he needed that top five run. He couldn't get it. So we'll see if they can in the coming weeks. And then lastly, the last guy I'm talking about here is Daniel Suarez here in 11th place. Now we've all have noticed Suarez. He's been in the chase. I'm not saying he's not going to be in the chase, but he has kind of slipped here recently to where he hasn't been really running as good as he was previously. And the Sonoma, he'd won at Sonoma before. His car just broke. He finished back in like the 30s. I think he did it. That's where he was running all day long. That's what I remember. That's what he was doing. And then Chicagoland Spire was off. the whole team was off. And then, at Atlanta, I'm gonna pull up his result here real quick. Hold on. Sorry, hold on. Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta here. He finished. Okay, here you go. He finished 21st at Atlanta, a ninth at North Wilkesboro, which wasn't terrible, but that was because a lot of guys got trapped a lap down. He didn't. And then 17th at Indianapolis. Um, and before that, he's been 31st, 14th, and 21st. So he's on this kind of string of very bad races where he had like one good run in the last 5 weeks. And that's because of that. You've seen guys like William Byron's even catching again. William Byron is a 12th place driver this year. He just is. He's here in 12th. He's been running around that spot basically all season long outside of a Chicagoland race that we all attended. He just hasn't really been like the same Daniel Suarez as he was previously, where he was actually racking up some top tens. And obviously, that Coca-Cola 600 win is paying big dividends currently because without that win, you can argue he'd be behind Byron. He could also be behind Logano. So this shows you again, wins matter a lot. But Daniel Suarez, you got to pick it up, man, because it's crunch time coming up here in the last 5 weeks.
Let's pick some good drivers there to talk about. The driver that I'll be starting off with is none other than my driver, because why wouldn't I talk about him? That is being Bubba Wallace. Yeah, Aiden, you brought up how you picked Bubba. He's qualified 22nd, and you've thought about changing it. I knew it that he was in. I told you guys this I guess you could say stat, but for the last 8 weeks, I swear, since his like real bad stretch he had in May, like he had like a month and a half bad stretch. He's either had a really good race where he finishes top 10 or a really bad race where he finishes 20th or worst. And it's every other time. Good finish, bad finish, good finish, bad finish. He had a good finish, sixth place finish at North Wilkesboro. I knew it that he was going to have a bad weekend here at Indy, and of course, I was right. And I knew once you said you had bad luck and you're picking Bubba, I'm like, there's no chance he gets a top 10. And of course, he has a bad weekend. I do want to point out that they're late in the same restart, the same pit there at the end with I think 33 to go, where everyone pitted. He was going to pit for two tires. He was going to come out right behind Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell and him were racing for 19th and 20th at the time of caution. When they go back to restart, Christopher Bell is in third because he had pitted for two tires. If Bubba did not get hit behind from a good old Josh Berry and wreck into his dang pit crew members, he probably would have came up fourth and probably would have finished fourth. That would have been fantastic. Aiden, you would have finished second instead of last because I still would have won. But hey, that would have been great, right? No, it didn't happen. It's now back here in 14th in points. Not looking great. Don't feel fantastic about it. I'm still, I think I want to say 60 points above the cutoff line. I could be wrong. I haven't done the math. But he's around that 60 points above the line. Pretty much a full race and a half out of it. He just can't have another bad weekend. He can't have those weekends where he has a terrible Saturday and he spends all day Sunday in the race making it up for it, and just barely squeaks out a 20th place finish, or barely gets any stage points and gets a 12th place finish. He needs to qualify up front. He needs to get some stage points and a solid, respectable finish, if not a win, and he'll be perfectly fine. And he's got it. He's capable of it. We see obviously Tyler Reddick, second in points. 5 wins. Corey Heim, part time, 2 wins in his couple of his starts this year. Bubba Walsh should have won at Atlanta. Went too high. Could have had another good finish at Atlanta. Went too low. Like he just kind of keeps making mistakes here lately. Needs to cut that out. Next up, I'm going to talk about is Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski is a guy that I thought, at the beginning of the year, I said he was going to make it because of his injury. And he started off pretty hot. He did. And ever since then, he's been real ice cold. And I think this track, specifically at Iowa, is the place where RFK's got to turn it around. And it's a place where they're capable of doing good here. Chris Buescher runs well. Ryan Priest runs well here. Brett Keselowski should run well here. If he does not turn it on here, I just don't see him making the chase at this point. Um, Next up, the last driver I want to talk about is William Byron. And the reason why I want to pick William Byron here is, like, what has he done this year? He's done nothing but just kind of been there. And we haven't seen that from him in years past. He's a guy that a lot of people pick as a championship sleeper, championship favorite. And he's sitting here 12th in points, struggles. Hendrick has struggled here as of late. Just 2 weeks ago was the first time ever that Hendrick had no cars finished in the lead lap. All of them finished 2 laps down. What is going on? We're going to another flat oval, flat short oval where they don't tend to do that well at. And sure enough, he's going to be sitting here in 12th. I mean, this is a guy that I thought he was going to finish top 3 in points this year. It's not going to happen. This is not, unless he goes on some Tony Stewart-esque run like in 2011. And it's just not going to happen. Just Hendrick, that new Chevrolet body, it's just not working out for them. Unless you're Spire, because right now they are ahead of Hendrick now in terms of the best Chevy team in points. But that is who I want to talk about there. So, guys, let's move on. And before we get into the award ceremony, give us our diecast of the week.
Now, with the news of Jimmy Johnson driving the 48 car, and the possibility of Lowe's being a sponsor, I went ahead and I went out, and there's a store here in Maryville, Tennessee, in the Foothills Mall that sells diecast cars. It's called Kingston Sporting Goods in the mall, and they sell diecast cars. So I went ahead and went out and I bought me some cars, and I picked up Jimmy Johnson's final ride car. Now, if you look at just the silver, just beams, it's more prevalent in person. It just shimmers in the light. It really does shimmer. And honestly, when I first saw the car, I really wasn't that big of a fan. I wasn't sure how the Ally Purple would look with the silver, but I fell in love with it the more and more I look at it. I just love it so much. And see, you got the classic yellow number 48. Obviously, the camera's backwards, so it looks like 84, but yeah, I got the yellow number 48, and Jimmy Johnson's last ever ride at Phoenix. Stud of a paint scheme, really like it, and just glad I was able to find this car and pick it up.
Right there, that is a good paint scheme, especially this week. We were talking about before the show, and he told us the paint scheme. I was like, yeah, we got to have that one on here for sure, especially with the news. So it's good to see Jimmy Johnson possibly getting that 48 back on track, possibly Lowe's back on there, Ally wants on there, so does, of course, Carvana. So going to be pretty cool to see what the paint scheme that will be released for Jimmy Johnson's last Daytona 500 and the last race ever. So now let's go to our award ceremony. This could be the last 2 weeks, guys. Give me your top shelf and hangover. I go first. Top shelf, I'm going to give it to none other Corey Heim. I mean, 15 races, 2 wins. Just a fantastic drive. Dude is really talented. Yeah, he's really good. I cannot wait to see him full time next year. Dare I say it, next year, if 2311 is the way they are right now, Hendrick is the way they are right now, is he a sleeper dark horse at a possible championship run? I mean, he's got the talent. He's got the talent. Maybe a crazy hot take, but I mean, this year he's been really good. Think about Texas. If he did not wreck there, he led 35 laps of that race, won a stage, and then he wrecked late. If he didn't have those issues, and he's talked about in multiple interviews that if they did not have to qualify so late, they're pretty much the first car that always qualifies, so he gets kind of stuck with the worst track conditions. if he didn't have that, he'd probably start a lot higher in the track, probably start around 10th or so, and have a lot better finishes and be in more contention later in these races. So just a lot to think about, and I think he's got immense talent, and I can't wait to see him full time in the Cup Series.
Yeah, the my guy that I'm going to talk about is Josh Berry because he decided to not be fucking useless and actually finish in the top 10 this week. That is it. I'm done.
All right, and then I guess the guy I'm singling out here is going to be. Hmm, it'll be Joe Logano here in third. Um, I talked about it. It was one of my drivers I was like looking out for, and what we were all saying before this stretch about how Logano needed to get it rolling. A first and a third in the previous 2 weeks definitely is getting things rolling in the right direction, and I can see them obviously carrying this forward, obviously for a couple more weeks now because you got Iowa and New Hampshire coming up and Richmond, and he's pretty good at Penske's pretty good at all those tracks. So Joe Logano, you're on one heck of a roll, my man. But please, please, I don't like the bald head. I really don't. I can't get used to it. I never will.
Good picks, guys. Now for Hangover, I'm gonna go with Kyle Larson. With his comments that he said about agreeing with Scott Dixon that these races are too long, and so what did he do? He raced the Brickyard 152 or whatever that he ended up running, getting wrecking himself pretty early there with a left rear, I think, blew on his car there. But yeah, it's got to be him. He's lost a lot of points here these last couple weeks.
Yeah, okay. So Rizzo's a bitch and he took my pick. Anyways, uh I'm going with I don't know if this is considered the big loser. I keep thinking big loser because I've been watching a lot of Impractical Jokers recently, like a lot of Impractical Jokers. But I'm gonna say me, just based off the fact that just want to put in perspective that I have been terrible with the picks recently. How bad am I? I picked Christopher Bell at North Wilkesboro. Now the last now Christopher Bell's last 5 races, he has finished second, fifth, and 19th. And guess what is the one race I picked? It was the one where he finished 19th.
All right, for me, yeah, I'm gonna call out the whole entire organization here. It's Hendrick Motorsports. It really is. Like during the entire how bad of a stretch this has been during the entire end season tournament challenge. Which I know some drivers will off like they don't care about it, but this is just ridiculous. The only driver from their organization that got multiple top tens during that entire 5 week run was Alex Bowman, the guy that announced he's retiring after next season. That's right. Kyle Larson didn't get a single, like more than one top 10. Chase Elliott didn't get more than one top 10. William Byron didn't get more than one top 10. Alex Bowman got two. And then Rizzo obviously previously pointed out how that a couple weeks ago at North Wilkesboro, how every single Hendrick driver, because one of their own, decided to cut across the track and cause a caution, um, had every one of their cars multiple laps down the first time in anyone's history. And they didn't score a top 10 there. They didn't score a top 10 in Indianapolis. Not a single one of them. It's been a very, very rough stretch. For Hendrick Motorsports fan, it's been glorious for Hendrick haters. And for me, well, I'm just pointing it out how bad it's been for them. It has been really bad.
It has some good picks, guys. Now, speaking of picks, let's get into our picks and predictions, and we'll start off with last week and how we all finished. In last place, Aiden, you picked Bubba, and he finished 26th, 28th. In third, we had Bunny. He picked Todd Gilliland, and he finished 24th. In second, Zachary, you had Tyler Reddick finishing 10th. And I won the weekend picking Corey Heim and winning 3 in a row for myself here. So, Aiden, with your first pick, since you got first, who are you picking this week at Iowa?
Well, the original my original plan, which I just want to say I'm gonna cover this up. I got a notes app that that I've used the entire season to plan out every single pick like accordingly. Uh, the original plan was to pick this guy later in the season. Uh, yeah, fuck that. I'm on a terrible stretch. You know what? Balls to the wall. Let's give me Ryan Blaney for Iowa.
Good pick. Bunny is next, and Bunny will go Alex Bowman.
It's very, very interesting. Unfortunately, I cannot pick Ryan Blaney because I already took him at Nashville and came on second there. It's been one of my very few second place finishes. I've had like 4 or 5. Um, you know, I have some heavy hitters left. I looked it over, and I can't play with the cold hand of Hendrick Motorsports. I'm not going to do it. I can play with the more hotter hand of JGR though, because I still have a driver there, and I'm gonna use it. So give me Chase Briscoe here with a 19.
Nice, guys. Very nice picks here from all you guys. But I was left with my number one pick being Ryan Priest. I'm picking Ryan Priest this weekend at Iowa. I do have some heavy hitters left too, but we'll wait and see where I pick those guys. But yeah, this week, give me Ryan Priest and that number 64. Next up, guys, now let's go to our predictions. What do you think is going to happen at this track, this race here at Iowa? For me, I'm not too sure what to expect. I'm going to be honest, last 2 years we've ran at Iowa. The only thing I can remember is them consistently talking about the first race where there's like 40 members and family members and friends of Ryan Blaney is here this weekend. It's the only thing I could remember. These last 2 years we've raced at Iowa is Ryan Blaney dominated 2 years ago, the first time we raced it, and they just consistently kept talking about 40 family members and friends were at this track for him. That's all I can remember. So I'm not too sure what to expect. I'm pretty sure Ford's going to be pretty good here. It's another short oval, short track. I look at Penske. I've been saying it for a while now. RFK. I just have a feeling RFK is going to be good here this weekend. And then I just want to see Hendrick. What are we going to expect from Hendrick? They were not good at Rockingham. They weren't good at North Wilkesboro. They've been not so good in the past at these shorter ovals, short tracks, flat tracks, whatever you want to call them. They just haven't been good here in the past. I'd like to see where they're at. And then if we do get that quintessential Penske domination at another short track, I want to see how close JGR is. They were pretty close at North Wilkesboro. Did they close the gap? But that's what I'm expecting this weekend. Guys, how about you?
Yeah, interesting to say. I really don't remember anything from last season. I'm pretty sure Briscoe won, or Briscoe finished second. I don't remember. Yeah, he finished second. Okay, so I don't even know who won the damn race. Yeah, and obviously I remember Ryan Blaney just absolutely putting belt to the entire field the first time around that we were here. It was also put in perspective that Blaney race was probably his first genuine dominating race that he actually finished. So it was like the first time in his career that he actually dominated a race and won the race. So that I remember as well. Yeah, it's interesting to say the least about Iowa. I mean, I do expect Penske to be good here. I expect RFK to have at least a decent shot at it, have a decent run. JGR cars also fighting up there. I don't think it's going to be a situation like at North Wilkesboro where, Christopher Bell had a bad Christopher Bell and the other guy, Chase Briscoe, have a bad race for some reason. I think all 4 cars are going to be good. I expect all 3 Penske cars to be good here. Well, I 100% expect Hendrick to suck here. I'm going to be honest. I'm really shocked that money is going to go with Alex Bowman this week because, damn, I don't think they have a chance. I say this now, and Bowman's going to win the damn race. But yeah, I'm expecting a great race. Obviously, I'm excited because Blaney's good here. The racing as a whole isn't great. But I don't know. I like it better than Richmond, and it's like the closest comparison it is to it. So, and I think the racing as a whole is also better than Richmond. I feel like Iowa has actually been a pretty good hit so far. I mean, it sells out. The track sells out, but to be fair, it is like the smallest venue on the circuit. So take that with a low grain of salt. Actually, not anymore. North Wilkesboro is the smallest venue on the circuit. Never mind. I was wrong. So I'm excited for this race. I think it could be a pretty good race, honestly.
An important note for everyone that's going to watch this, it's on USA Network now. NBC/USA has got the rest of the schedule. So what that means, you're going to listen to the boring voice of Jeff Burton. No offense to him, but he is very boring to listen to. Steve Letarte, and then you got Lee Diffie. Lee Diffie is back on the play-by-play calling. So we might see, some exciting finishes, and he can hype it up as best he can. I don't think that's going to happen at Iowa, unfortunately. What happened last year was simple. A guy named Byron won the race, and Briscoe could not catch him. And Kozlowski was pretty strong there too that day as well. But it came down to fuel mileage, and these teams just know fuel mileage better than anybody. The next gen car, just
Byron,
it's not the same.
Byron wins the boring races. I swear. But I cannot remember a William Byron win that I was like, oh yeah, something else happened in that race. You know what I mean? Like when I think of William Byron win, I think of William Byron won that race. That is it.
I remember his Daytona
Uh,
500 wins, considering that he got the lead off of people wrecking.
yeah, that's okay. That's yeah. And he did have his
Yeah.
first career win
Those suck.
also at Daytona. Remember that. He got his first career win at Daytona. One of the most anticlimactic first career wins I've ever seen in my life.
Anyways, okay. Anyways, besides that, Iowa to me, it's kind of interesting. I kind of feel like it just gets lost in the shuffle, unfortunately, with like Richmond. It just does because it's the late end of the summer, which I don't typically enjoy this schedule part of NASCAR, even though I will watch. Um, he Iowa has got obviously been repaved, not all of it, only parts of it, and you can run the top. The top is probably preferred, or the middle, I should say. The middle lane is preferred probably more so than the bottom, unless you can somehow carry corner exit speed off the bottom. Um, so because of that, with the corner exit speed, that's why Penske is pretty good here because they have the best corner exit speed. And then RFK can have a car or two up there as well. Um, Toyota's been strong. You obviously can't count them out. But yeah, I mean, I expect those two teams, the three teams, to really take stranglehold of it. Um, Hendrick could maybe find a way if something goes their way, but I don't see it happening this weekend. It just doesn't play into their cards. So Iowa, I don't have a whole lot of expectations for. It's in the middle, squarely in the middle. It just is. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, maybe we can find a way to get some tire wear on here, but I'm not betting on it. But hopefully, we can. And hopefully, it does put on a good show because the Iowa does get a decent showing for 40,000. I know that's not a lot, but it's 40,000, and people show up to it. So, and it's been a while. It's been a while since they got a cup race. Obviously, they never had a cup race there before. Before like Brian Blaney showed up and kicked everyone's butts that night. So, I mean, they have a good support. Okay, we'll say that they have a good support.
That's a good local track in Newton, Iowa. I've actually been there one time, not to go to a race. I drove through it. It is in the middle of nowhere. There is nothing around it, but it's like one of those drive-through towns. Like there's a gas station, there's a Pizza Hut. That's about it. That's really about it. And then there's a racetrack right across the street. So the
Ah,
fact that yeah,
sounds,
the fact that
sounds
that
like
40,000,
home.
yeah, right. So the fact that
These guys
40,000
got the
fans is
big
there.
cities. That sounds like home to me.
But anyway, guys, now that we get into this section of the show, we have Zachary's Guess the Driver. Zachary, please say we got an easy one this week.
You do not, unfortunately, for you guys.
Fantastic. If he says it's not easy, this guy is a made up name. I've never heard of him.
All right. Started off, this driver was born in Martinsville, Virginia. Very popular for NASCAR, but this guy was born there. However, he used to, when he first got his license, he never did actually go to like a racing school or something. He just raced his friends on the streets. That's how he developed some of his racecraft, was just street racing. Although he did idolize the Petties on TV when he was watching with NASCAR. His first official race came in 1963 at Jacksonville Speedway Park. He finished 8th. He actually never wanted to race for anybody else, though. And I think it was because that was part of the culture growing up when he was, is that it was a lot of pride. He took a lot of pride in doing things yourself, especially him. He never wanted to race for anybody else, so he didn't. He never raced for any other one but himself. So he was a owner driver. He described himself as laid back because he couldn't afford to wreck his cars, as it would cost him so much more money than anybody else. And that's why he was able to keep going for so long as he did. He had one manufacturer his entire, it was Chrysler. They left NASCAR a good while ago. He stayed with them his entire career up until the mid 80s. And then they backed out of NASCAR, and then he retired because of it. He has the second most starts of a driver without a win. He has 0 wins. He has 103 top 10s. His best finish was 7th in the points. I said it was going to be hard. Okay. Briefly,
Zachary, shut up. There's a Tim Flock.
No, it's not.
Okay.
He started up a Cup team in 1989. However, he immediately sold that team, and then he never came back. He never returned to the garage area, not as anything else. He just vanished. Although his son does run a manufacturing company.
What makes you think of this guy? Because this is what is this John Doe? I mean that's what
No.
I got.
No. I know his first name.
But what is his first name?
It's Buddy.
Buddy Baker.
It is Buddy. I don't know the last name though.
This driver's best known number was the 67 car.
Oh, that's why he picked it. 67. Oh my God, he picked it because Corey Haim. Buddy. Buddy Williams.
No.
I just came up with a random name. I have no idea who this is.
Aiden's got a hench, obviously.
His name is Buddy.
Yeah, his first name is Buddy.
Buddy bitch. I don't know.
Zach, give us another hint.
Okay. I gotta find a hint first, honestly.
Arrington. Something like that. Air. Fuck. Buddy Air.
Buddy Carrington.
Say his full name together.
Buddy Arrington.
There you go. He's right.
Okay. Holy shit.
Who the hell is that?
My God. Didn't this dude like back out of a sponsor with Dale Earnhardt or something like that?
Yeah. I said that he was well respected around NASCAR. He never wanted anybody to give him like charity work or anything like that. So that's why he just drove for for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Aiden, how did you pull that one out?
Because I swear, this guy, like, I thought he was a bit slimy, or maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
That's how you remember him? He was slimy.
Completely. Yeah, he was slimy, and like he would sponsor some drivers, and then like his checks would bounce, and then like people couldn't find him. Like he did that to Dale Earnhardt. I could be thinking of someone completely different. And he's
How
Yeah,
do
I don't
you,
think I don't think he
Zachary? How
did.
do you find that guy?
Well, I go when I'm trying to pick a driver, I go through like history of NASCAR. So I'm going through racing references. I'm going through just random stats. I'm I'm doing everything I can. I can go in the back burner and find a guy. But you know how I found this guy out? I looked up on Google random NASCAR drivers from the 1970s, and he was the second one on it.
I don't like that. I would like a little bit, newer, not as old, maybe not as outlandish.
Well, I mean,
Personally,
I got it. Well, yeah, I mean, sure, it'd be easier on you guys, and it'd be better on me, honestly, because a lot of these guys back in those days did not have a whole lot of bios built around them,
yes.
unless you're like a Richard Petty, obviously, when you won everything, then you do. Um, but hey, I gotta shine the light on the pioneer days of NASCAR. I They don't get a whole lot of shine. This guy is definitely not going to make the Hall of Fame because he had 0 wins his entire career. So I thought, why not?
The only buddy I knew in NASCAR was Buddy Baker, so I said, "Screw it, might as well say it." I knew I was way off, but maybe there was a second. But anyway, guys, anything else to add? The only comment we have is that someone really liked the diecast of the week section of the show, so we got to keep that one up.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I got some other good ones in the future.
I'm looking forward to it. That is a fun one to have. Speaking of diecast, I do want to add this. I may be purchasing a Holy Grail diecast here pretty soon. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2004 Firecracker 400 car. Call my name. It is a 124 diecast. Obviously, it's the first win after his father passed. Dale Sr. passed. I had an offer on one. I was told a number, pretty respectable number. I think for that car, might be adding it to the collection. I do have a 164 of it, but if I could get that 124 of it, that'd be fantastic. I don't know about you, Aiden, but I feel like you're pretty jealous about that.
I am. That is one amazing car that I would
That
love to get. Yeah.
it's a holy grail. And I don't know why he's selling it to me, but he put it up for sale, and I was like, shoot, I might as well. But anyway,
Hopefully
that's
it's
gonna
not
do it.
cheap. Hopefully it's not a cheap
No,
one. No,
oh
it's
no, it's
like
legit. It is the top tier.
gotcha.
Anything you guys want to add?
I mean, there is
Buck John Hunter Nemechek.
I got one car that I know. It's right here. It's right here.
Oh,
The Gold
that's
Bass
nice.
Pro Dale Earnhardt car. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is nice.
So I got that one, but I'm not as big in collecting diecasts as these guys, unfortunately.
Yeah, my whole basement is littered with them everywhere. My room everywhere. So it's Well, one day when I get my own place, I'm gonna have one hell of a man cave. I could assure you that. And Aiden, I think you as well. It's gonna be
Oh yeah.
fantastic.
Are you
Oh
gonna
yeah.
get?
I've already been planning out in my head how it's gonna look, bro.
You know,
Are you gonna?
go
Hold
for
on.
it, Zachary.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, are you gonna get a built-in smoke screen or something whenever your driver wins?
Oh, that'd be
I,
badass. Yeah,
I'm
like get the
I
pyrotechnics going.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have my own man cave. All right, it's gonna be me, my woman, and my die cast. All right.
There we go.
Fuck
Yeah,
them kids. They can sleep in the basement. Anyway.
I've even got two race used tires for coffee tables that I'm ready to put together here.
Mm-hmm.
Got a 2004 Dale Jr. at Michigan and a 2004 Matt Kenseth also at Michigan.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, oh yeah. I think Dale Jr. finished last in that race, though. I could be wrong, but still, I got that tire. He went, yeah. But anyway, that's going to do it from all of us here at Moonshiners Racing, presented by Depot Street Sports. Sorry we were a little delayed to this week. We had some technical difficulty, but next week we'll be joined with who will be joined with, Zachary? You were able to set this one up. I'm surprised.
Yeah, I was also surprised. I just kind of randomly DM this guy on Instagram because we were trying to get him on the show earlier in the year. Stephen Malazy, I think they say his name. truck driver. He was busy with law school and law work. He said DM him back at the end of July. I did. He actually ended up seeing it. He says he wants to send some up. I did next Wednesday on the show here with Moonshiners Racing. We'll be talking about his journey up to NASCAR and how he's balanced that along with going to law school because he also is trying to become a lawyer, apparently. So we'll discuss everything with him.
I'm looking forward to that one. I really am. Getting to hear about his journey into NASCAR and law school. I think he worked at a restaurant too, as he was doing some truck racing the last couple of years of his career. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to hear from him. Our second interview that we've done. We're looking forward to it. Can't wait. Hopefully, we will not have the same technical difficulties we had this week, but we'll make sure we'll be back next week talking all things Iowa and getting you ready for Richmond, where we hopefully do not see another Austin Dillon win. But anyway, that's going to do it from us. I'm your host, Michael Rizzo, joined with Zachary Kendall and Aiden Fortney. We'll see you guys next week.